We have a very busy night tonight. First up, Jeffrey Smith will be here to update all of us about the GMO wars. The GMO wars, of course, being fought against us. It is beginning to look more and more like genetically modified food, organisms, whatever they're messing with in terms of genetics, are invariably dangerous, if not deadly, to us ultimately. They are health compromising, health destroying. They will continue to pollute the environment, and in many ways they are the new environment, unfortunately. The efforts on the part of true organic free farming continue. Jeffrey Smith's work is nothing short than magnificently heroic. I don't know where to go with this except to tell you that the latest story I put up today is that GMO foods are now being suspected of actually rewiring your brain. Now think about that. And the obvious follow-up question is there intent here? I don't know. I don't rule anything out anymore. Jeffrey, hello, welcome back. How are you?
Great, thank you. How are you?
It's still here, my friend. Still here. You know the routine.
I do.
Yeah. All right, so this rewiring of the brain story, I imagine you saw it. If not, I'll send it over to you. Today, I think it was posted. And I don't know what the hell these lunatics are doing behind closed, locked, triple locked, and guarded doors in their white lab coats, taking the devil's money to do evil on this planet. It's not right. Remember the old commercial? Don't mess with Mother Nature. And that woman was standing there. And
it's not nice to fool Mother Nature. Yeah.
There you go.
I was going to start with some other news. I mean, what I have in mind tonight is to go back and forth between wretched, horrible news on Monsanto's side and fantastic breakthrough news on consumer side. So to sort of balance it out.
Go ahead.
Let's start with the wretched, horrible rewiring of the brains. How about that?
Very good. The story is up there actually in the first news block at Rense.com. John Rappaport wrote the article. Let me just read a tiny bit of it to set the stage here. It's already bad. Very bad. For the last 25 years, the biotech Dr. Frankensteins have been inserting DNA into food crops. The widespread dangers of this technique have been exposed. Countries have banned GMO crops or insisted on labeling. Now, though, the game is changing, and it'll make things even more unpredictable. The threat is ominous and drastic, to say the least. GM Watch reports the latest GMO innovation, designed food plants that make new double-stranded RNA. What does the RNA do? It can silence a gene. It can activate a gene that was silent. If you imagine the gene structure as a board covered with light bulbs, in the course of living, some genes light up, activation, and some genes go dark, silent, at different times. This new designed RNA can change that process. No one knows how.
That's a pretty good introduction, and I read that myself today. I was corresponding with John earlier about stuff, and I'm glad to receive his very good article. There's a new study that came out looking at this new class. It's not really completely new, but there's big plans to introduce this double-stranded RNA technology, both in plants and in agricultural sprays, in medicines, topical administration, and it's extremely dangerous.
They're covering the board.
Yes, in fact, it may be far more dangerous than any of the GMOs currently on the market, and I'll explain. Most of the GMOs on the market are inserted with a gene that produces a piece of DNA, and the DNA is transcribed to produce RNA, and the RNA is translated into proteins, and it's the proteins which do the trick. So if you put in a Roundup-ready gene, you get a Roundup-ready protein that makes Roundup-ready crops invincible to Roundup herbicide. If you put a Bt toxin gene into corn, you produce a protein which is actually an insect killer. However, what double-stranded RNA technology does is instead of producing a protein, the DNA produces RNA, and that doesn't have to become a protein. The RNA itself does the work. And double-stranded RNA, as you just read, can shut down the expression of a particular gene or activate a gene. Now, it can survive food, it can survive cooking, it can survive digestion and end up in our bodies. They fed mice double-stranded RNA, and it changed the way that the liver cells produced molecules, showing that it regulated or rescripted the way that the DNA functioned in the mice. It did the same thing with human cells in test tubes. So this is a thing where, if you think back to indigenous cultures talking about food, like Ayurveda, they talk about a sequence of the laws of nature that produce health that can be, that food has the quality of sort of transferring that intelligence and resetting false sequences in our bodies so that it restores health. And that's their definition of why food and herbs and mantras and gems all work. However, in this case, and they found recent evidence that food contains a lot of this RNA, which might enhance or develop to foster expressions of the DNA inside of us. But this double-stranded RNA, which is being produced by these crops in development and some that have already been introduced, is designed specifically to shut down the expression of certain DNA functions for to kill insects or to,
allegedly. Allegedly.
Yeah, right.
And we eat the stuff though, folks, and then the obvious follow on to that is, what might it be doing to us and our genetic structure? This is really getting out of hand, friend. Oh.
Now the thing is, you can get double-stranded RNA by breathing in the RNA, and it can affect you when it enters your body.
In the air, it's in the water, it's in, exactly, sure.
It can be in the water, right? It can be spread on your skin and get through the skin. And the thing is, there's no current evaluation of any of the GMOs on the market. Now, there's two problems there's two issues here. There's the plants that are designed to create double-stranded RNA, which could be extremely dangerous and is not being evaluated. But even the products that are designed to create proteins, they mess up the DNA so sufficiently that they too may be creating double-stranded RNA, which may be dangerous, but none of that is being evaluated. And like Monsanto is buying companies that are working on this dsRNA or double-stranded RNA technology because they want to be big time introducing it. And the other side, when this paper came out, they used the most remarkable, unscientific, as they tend to do, defenses. They say, oh, we eat RNA all the time, so it must be safe. There's no concern about double-stranded RNA. It's like saying we eat molecules all the time, so it's okay to eat any combination of molecules. It's just completely infantile. So this was released by some researchers in Australia and New Zealand. I know two of them. They're excellent, excellent folks. And they have, of course, come across the normal wall of resistance. But it exposes a really serious issue. You can you can inhale the flour from the crop when baking it. You can inhale the dust from the crop when harvesting it. You can touch the crop. You can eat the crop. And in any of these cases, it can be reprogramming the intelligence of our body and our DNA and changing the way it produces proteins. And that also, what's very interesting, Jeff, is that in some cases, when double-stranded RNA works on an organism, it sometimes also affects the offspring of that organism.
All right, we're going to go right through the break, Brett. Thank you, at the network.